Recording
One
to the
second.
cloud. Okay, it's recording to the cloud, just so when you're ready.
All right. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Plant Power Dad Hour. I am Plant-Based Gabriel. That's what my tag says, and I'm here with Cory from Lean Green Dad. Cory, how are you doing today?
I'm awesome. You know, we need to change. We'll change your little name there. Let's see. You could change your own name. I'm going to change
Yeah,
mine.
I normally do. I'll change it here real quick.
Lean Green Dad is what I changed mine to. You change yours to whatever you want. Steve.
Steve? Nah, I'll go Plant-Based Gabriel today.
Well, yeah, no, man, it was awesome. Awesome talking to you last time about how to get my garden started. And I think that, if it wasn't so chilly at the time that we recorded, then I'd be out there. I think what I'm doing is I'm planning for an excellent pre-summer project, because what I would love for everything to be grown in and be clipping things like my kale and, some spinach and stuff as the summer months roll around. So that's what I'm aiming for. But I do have a lot of questions about exactly what to grow and kind of going into the details and the technique around growing itself. So I'm really glad that we're doing this.
Yeah, and I just will add, we had a lot of a good reception after last week's episode, and we did have some questions here and there. So we'll try to answer them as you ask questions. I'll try to also roll those into it as well.
Oh yeah, I love it. Are you looking at those? You got them up?
Right here.
Hey, they're in the dome. That's all that matters. All right. So if you are just catching up, if you are just tuning in, maybe it's your first episode listening to the Plant Powered Dad Hour. We're two plant-based dads that really focus a lot on keeping our families healthy through what we put in our bodies. Gabriel is a 100% whole food plant-based family. My family does eat a lot of vegan junk food from time to time, but I myself would call myself 90% or so whole food plant-based. My kids are not, but it's okay. They understand, they know, and they understand the relationship between food and how it makes them feel. And my wife is the same. And we transitioned because my wife, has and lives with ulcerative colitis. So we believe that the food that we put in that bowel area is massively important. And Gabriel, I mean, just again, like super quick, man, just to touch base, like you were a big time football guy. Yeah, you were over 300
I was 100
right?
pounds 100 pounds heavier, and was the starting long snapper at the University of Nebraska. See there.
Yes.
Won the Gator Bowl, did a lot of things there, broke my back, unfortunately. And, 6.5 hour back surgery later, I was overweight, obese, wasn't able to exercise, and was looking what to do. And then I adopted a whole food plant-based diet, and many of our listeners will know the story, and wrote The Plant-Based Diet for Beginners, successful bestseller. And now I get to come on here with Cory every week, and we talk about being plant-powered dads.
From bestseller to podcast with Cory. That's the trajectory straight up that we're looking for.
That's right. I've made it to the top.
Hey, all right. So I'm focused on understanding what to grow. I think last time we spoke, we talked about kale. We talked about the greens. Now there's hundreds of different varieties of kale. Do you have one that you think I should focus on? And really, I want to get into the technique of we talked about a 4x8, right? A 4x8 setup. We talked about bringing in my own soil, my own dirt, and finding plants. I forget what you called it. That were starter.
Plant starts.
Okay, so they were already partially grown, and I'm transferring them from another pot maybe to my local dirt at my house, and I am getting a good jump start rather than starting with the seed, right? Because the seed takes quite a bit longer, and
it's not the duration of time that the seed takes. It is the actual application of starting the seed, watching it all the way through to a place where you can, a maturity level where you can put it outside and in the ground. And that does take a little bit of expertise, that if you're someone who wants to do that, then that is most definitely the case. But what I recommend, and as you hinted to, is I recommend real beginners, if you're starting on a smaller scale, like you are at a 4x8 level, is going and buying plant starts from your local nursery center. checking to see if there's any local small scale organic farmers that have starts. A lot of them will do that in the spring. They'll, that's kind of an extra cash crop for them, is they'll start a bunch of extra plants that they'll sell to the local community. And so those are all good options for you. And they're great things because you're not necessarily, if you go with that farmer route, you're not necessarily going to get sold something that doesn't do well in your area, because they're growing just extras of what they're already growing.
Yeah.
And so that is an option, but I do recommend getting that. Your question to the specific type of kale, you're going to be you're going to have less options when you're buying plant starts. You're basically buying what someone has started for you.
Right.
And so I'm not so worried about that. The big thing is making sure you're getting it in the ground at the right time. So making sure that you're growing in the right season, and then also making sure that if you wanted to continue harvest, maybe through some pest pressure, doing the correct measures that you'll need to do from that front. And so the specific type of kale, the specific type of tomato, the specific type of pepper, you'll have some choices there, but in general, you're kind of going to be picking green kale, green cabbage, green broccoli, white cauliflower, kind of that on that front is what you're going to be looking for.
Okay, I like cabbage. I'm a cabbage fan. Does cabbage grow faster than a kale? Does it grow about the same?
So it'll be a one-time harvest of a condensed head that you could definitely, would be fun to grow as well for the kids. Kale's a little bit nicer in the fact that, you can continually harvest. You just break off the bottom big leaf and then, break off another one and then it'll continue growing, where cabbages, you're actually harvesting that whole head of it. Which is fine. Either way works fine. I wouldn't recommend doing just one or the other, though. So the big thing is for your area, though, Cory, and this is something that, my wife and I, we're very meticulous about. You don't have to be so particular about it when you're starting off on, say, a smaller scale. But you could start off on, here, let me pull some paper up. So you could start off with a pen and paper, right? Saying we've got a 1 4x8 thing. We want to grow. This is what we want to grow, right? We want to grow kale or spinach during the spring. We want to grow a couple tomato plants and a couple pepper plants during the summer. And we want to grow some cabbage and some more kale or collard greens or whatnot during the fall / through winter. And so a lot of times, like in your area, what you put in the fall, if you're growing something like kale or collards, you'll be able to harvest that all the way through fall, through winter, and through spring. And so it'd mostly be, you could pull it out, but you could continually be harvesting that as well.
Love that. Okay.
So having a plan is important. You're not having to necessarily plan it out 60, 100 days in advance like you maybe would if you were growing your own seedlings, which is definitely somewhere where a lot of people progress to. But if you're buying plant starts, then basically you're saying, all right, I'm going to get those plant starts in your area. In all honesty, you would really be thinking about getting your broccoli, your kale, your collard greens, your cauliflower, your lettuce, your spinach, that stuff planted now, right? By the end of February, having those things in.
Even the starters, you're talking about seeds?
Starters.
Wow. Okay. Got it.
Because they can handle frosts and they don't necessarily love the super hot temperature. So you're more so trying to get them in when you can get them in. And in your area, you can get them in almost any time.
Yeah, it's true.
And so getting those in, because you also have the ability to, say, grow things like tomatoes and peppers. If you had a raised bed like that, it would be fun to say, if your kids like spice. Do you guys like spicy foods like jalapenos?
Jalapenos, no, we'll stay away from those. I do like cayenne though, like cayenne in the shaker,
Sure. And a fun thing to do with the kids would be to buy a cayenne pepper plant, which you could go to your local plant store, whatever, your local hardware store, or your, nursery store, buy a cayenne pepper plant and grow that. And you'll get more cayenne peppers from that one plant than you guys will know what to do with.
Yeah, no, the kids are not eating those. That would be a daddy thing. And
so you could also grow sweet peppers. You could do some different things like that. Those are just some ideas where you could take up a foot of that 4x8 space and have something fun where the kids could go out and harvest and go like that, where it's a little bit more fun to harvest peppers and eat them fresh than, say, kale or collards sometimes, or spinach sometimes.
I feel like for my kids, I want to make it a rainbow, right? I really want them to associate tons of different colors with the garden that we're looking at. And it would be fun. We talked about last episode, my kids decorating it with some paint,
Yep.
on the outside, making sure that it's nice and colorful, and they take ownership in it. And I think that'll be lots of fun. Just like we want our kids to make food in the kitchen with us, we want our kids to have a hand in making the raised garden, if you will. And then the other thing, so I guess, well, let's talk about the colors, right? Let's talk about different colors and things we can do. I've never grown a sweet potato, and I know there's purple and there's orange. Do those take a significant amount of time, Gabriel? Like, what am I looking at?
Sweet potatoes are going to take about 120 days.
Okay, that's not too bad at all.
Well, they're a pretty long crop,
Okay.
but you could certainly grow them. Now, in your raised bed example, sweet potatoes aren't necessarily going to yield a ton compared to, say, if you grew carrots. So
Okay.
you could grow something like a rainbow mix of carrots, and that is something that you're going to buy seed for and directly sow it. But you could buy from any store pretty much that sells seeds a rainbow mix of carrots that you're going to have orange, red, yellow, purple carrots, and they may throw a white carrot in there as well. And you could grow, say, if you did your 4x8 raised bed, right? We've got 4 foot by 8 feet, and you did 5 rows of carrots spaced 3 to 4 inches apart going the short way. So it would take up maybe a foot, a little bit over a foot of that raised bed going the 4 feet length. Am I making sense here?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, you're going the short width there, and from that 4 feet, you could get 10, 15 pounds of carrots.
Wow.
Which you're probably not going to eat in one sitting. It's going to be something fun where the kids can pull out a couple. Hey, for dinner, we want to pull out a couple carrots, or we want to do this or that. That would be a really good option as well.
I enjoy juicing. I don't know if juicing is a bad thing to talk about because
no,
getting rid of the fiber.
When you're juicing, you're going to need a few more raised beds for carrots for juicing. But
still, I mean, you could juice 5 pounds of carrots like it's nothing and drink it. And if I think it's an interesting fact that your skin pigmentation will actually turn more orange if you consume a significant amount of carrots. Is that's
true? Yeah, and that's fine. I'm just thinking more so you want to get the maximum amount of produce, the maximum amount of color, the maximum amount of enjoyment out of it for the kids. I don't necessarily think that having the kids pull the carrots out and then giving them juice with the carrot juice. But for your kids, that may certainly be. But a homegrown fresh carrot, pulling that out of the ground and just eating it, there's nothing like it.
No.
So that is certainly another option. So say you've got this raised bed, Cory. Let's just lay it out here. I want to just kind of lay it out so our audience can see how kind of we go through this process. So we've got a 4 foot by 8 foot raised bed, and Cory's going to get the soil for it. We're going to make sure we keep it watered. We're going to do this, but we're basically going to segment it out. And so you really want to focus on what are the greens that you want to focus on here in your spring growing.
I really like broccoli, like you said.
So you'd really like to kind of test out some broccoli plants?
I would.
Knowing that, I guess here's the big thing, and it's totally fine. If this is just something you want to do, you're going to allocate about a foot for a broccoli plant, and you're going to get 1 head of broccoli from it. Whereas if you allocate that same foot to kale or collard greens, you're probably going to get a much more significant amount of mass.
That's what I need. That's what I need. I need mass. So listen, I'd love some collard greens for my veggie wraps. That would be excellent. Are these going to be big?
You can grow them big. Yeah.
Okay. It'll just take longer, right?
Well, you make sure they're well fed. They'll grow nice big leaves.
Okay, good. I want to wrap my sandwiches in them. And then I'm a big kale guy. I would love to have some kale. It's like the superfood of the world. And then
which collards are actually healthier than kale. They're both healthy, but collards are the superfood of all superfoods.
Are they really?
They're like the collards have been grown and eaten by civilizations for longer than like any other food, and they've got more health properties per nutrient density basis. It's not like kale's bad for you, but it's just to say that kale has this like check mark next to it, but collards are really a superfood as well.
Nice. I mean, you ever made a collard salad where you like cut up the collards like really small into salad pieces?
Yeah, you can do things like, have you done that?
I've never, no.
Okay.
But I have some salad scissors, which are sounding like
we certainly prefer it steamed or cooked down, but instant pot cooked. But yeah, so you
Nice.
got collards, you've got kale.
Cabbage, I'm down for.
You want some cabbage?
Make some good coleslaw. Yep.
Yeah, and that's a nice thing. I mean, honestly, one big cabbage head or, medium, you're going to get, if you wanted to do sauerkraut or if you want to do coleslaw, you're going to get a good bit there where it's not just going to be like you could cook it down and eat it for one meal, but you could also do some different techniques to make it, last a little bit longer.
Now we're focused a lot on veggies here. Are there any green fruits that I could grow?
Well, in your area, you could probably use that whole 4x8 and grow a banana tree.
Nope.
How about a papaya tree?
We need to keep things that grow from the ground, inside the ground, not necessarily from trees.
So so fruits, what are you thinking?
I honestly don't know. I'm just trying to nothing that's gonna grow. All fruits come from trees.
Fruit, I mean, cucumbers are a fruit, tomatoes are a fruit.
Cucumbers are a fruit?
Yeah.
By what definition?
By the vegetable fruit definition. Peppers are a fruit. I mean, it's just the bananas are a berry.
It's because yeah, that's unique. I never thought of bananas being a berry. Bananas aren't classified as a fruit.
They're a berry, which berries are technically, under that subheading. But that's beyond the point. You could grow tomatoes and things like that. How about carrots? Did you want to do some carrots?
Yeah, I liked carrots. Those are not green, but they are orange.
You can get some green ones.
And we do a book called Creepy Carrots. You ever read Creepy Carrots?
No, I don't think I have.
Well, it's awesome. Kroppenheimer Farm. Yep, there's Creepy Carrots, and the carrots were, yeah.
We'll have to check that out.
Good
All right, so right now, if we just look at this, your 4x8, you'd be able to grow, say we've got, you could do 3 collards. You could do, I mean, do you want to kind of have things spaced even, like, or have an even amount of things? Or kind of more so leaning towards more kale, more collard, what's your... So everyone sees here while you're talking, I just put together spring. We've got a 4x8 bed, and I've cut that into 8 segments, knowing that I'm going to have a foot there. Obviously, they're not to scale. And then we just have some ideas of some of the plants that Cory wants to grow. It's just a really rough sketch, easy way to do it. You could do this if you had I know we had a lot of questions, Cory, about folks who just have a balcony or have some containers. You could do the same thing with your balcony or containers and say, oh, there's a pot. There's a, one of the rail pots that sits on the rail. There's a little raised bed I have. So you could do that and kind of decipher out what you want, because the key to a good garden is having a good plan about it as well.
Well, yeah, you just won't be able to grow as much, but it's okay. It's all right. You look out on that balcony and you'll see your
lettuce. Did you want to grow lettuce, Cory?
What kind of lettuce?
What type of lettuce do you like?
I think romaine is my favorite.
Well, you could grow romaine.
Butter
you can
lettuce.
Also grow baby greens as well.
What about arugula?
You can grow arugula. Arugula grows really quickly.
That's one of my faves as well. Arugula is like, out of all of these, I know I said kale was one of my faves because it's so versatile, but for me, I think that arugula just doesn't get.
All right, so now we have this list. What do you really want to focus in on? We can do all of it, but what do you want more or less of?
Let's read me what I had again. Here's what I have: cabbage, kale, collard greens, carrots, arugula. What else?
I put romaine lettuce in there as well.
Nah, romaine. Nope. Nah, that's too vanilla. All right, how about how many do I have to cut?
No, we can use all of them. It's just, what do you really want to emphasize to grow the most of?
Arugula.
You want to grow a lot of arugula?
Arugula. Yeah, man. I eat the heck out of that. Like, okay. I can make a whole salad of that. Microgreens are great too. And I feel like the microgreens, the way they grow, do they take up, like, they're low to the ground, right? And so you could grow microgreens outside, and
I wouldn't necessarily put too much emphasis on a raised bed on it, because you're gonna put a lot of emphasis in growing the seeds, whereas you grow one kale or collard plant and you're gonna get way more mass from one seed than you would 1,000.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 things. Let's say each one is weighted 20% each would be nice, but I don't know. The smallest amount I think would need to actually be the collard greens because I'm the only one that's going to eat those.
Well, then just grow one collard green plant.
Okay. And then if I had to rank them in order from least popular to most popular in my family, it's going to be number 5, collard greens, number 4, arugula, number 3, cabbage, number 2, kale, and number 1, creepy carrots.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna grow in one of these. We're gonna look at these like that. We've got an 8-foot here that we're gonna go across. So in one of those quadrants, we are going to grow 3 cabbages.
Ooh.
Okay. 3 cabbage.
This is tea, by the way, for anybody that can see me drinking out. This is my Cory cup. You see, it's a big C.
Fancy. Very fancy.
Yeah. Friend.
All right. 3 cabbages, Cory.
Okay.
Then we're going to grow 6 kale plants.
Love it.
Because I think that's going to be 3. I think that's going to, you guys are going to, that's something you'll eat a lot. You'll have a good bit of, so you'll want a good bit of that.
I'm gonna have to go live with all of this while I'm building it and everything.
You should definitely.
Yeah,
at least give me a call and be like, hey, how am I doing there?
Oh, you're gonna have to stream with me, man.
All right, so excuse me about that. We're gonna do 5 kale plants and 1 collard green plant in there, because if you're really just wanting it for the wraps, then 1 plant will probably suffice for you.
Great.
2 kale, 1 collard. All right.
No, you said 5 kale.
5 kale. Excuse me. 5 kale.
Yeah, 5 kale, 1 collard, 3
cabbage. And then so that takes up around three of the feet there, which leaves us about 5 foot of that bed. And so I would do 2 feet of carrots and 3 feet of arugula. Carrots.
How many feet of arugula?
3.
Nice. Because 3 plus 2 is 5, people.
And the arugula, you're going to direct seed as well. So you'll want to get seeds for that.
Okay. Same thing with carrots?
Same thing with carrots.
Nice.
And so
what's the grow time on that?
Huh?
What's the grow time? 60?
So your carrots can be anywhere from 50 to 75 days. You can get a quicker type of carrot. The rainbow mix will actually be nice because it will be a bunch of different types. And so you'll be able to see the little top of the carrot. And then you'll see, oh, that looks like it's the size of a silver dollar that's ready to harvest. And so nice. You don't have to pull them all out at once, which is also good about that.
Yeah, perfect. Excellent.
And then the arugula, you're about 30 days on that, 25 days.
Oh, that's great. Okay, cool.
And so how I would do that here, Cory, is this and so everyone can see kind of the rough sketch on there. So when we're growing the arugula, I would grow it in rows that go down the bed like this, right?
Zigzag?
So no, not zigzag. So it's going to be a straight line there of arugula, and you're going to plant that about 3 to 4 inches apart. And so when that 1 foot, you're going to grow 4 rows of arugula, and then your next foot, you're going to grow 4 rows of arugula, 4 rows of arugula, and then you get to carrots. And the carrots, I would do 3 rows of carrots per that foot. And so in reality, you're getting 6 rows of carrots and 12 rows of arugula, which would be really nice for you.
Beautiful.
And then the kale, you just space that out. On one of those foots, you've got 3 kale plants. So you just space out that 4 foot pretty evenly and grow them in the center of that foot. And then you'll do the same with the 2 kale, 1 collard plant, and then the same thing with cabbage.
Excellent. Holy cow. I feel like I need to put this on a CAD drawing or something like that and make sure that everybody sees what I have, and then make it, a reality.
And so let's say if you got those in the ground ASAP, right, within the next couple of weeks, I'm not saying you have to.
Right. It's not going to happen. I'm just being real.
If you did do that, then so you would be able to kind of plan ahead to say, all right, in 50 days, I'll get some peppers in there, or I'll get some, But in reality of what's probably going to happen at the Warren household, you're going to get these in hopefully within a month or so. And you're just going to try to get as much as you can out of them. They're going to run to where your summer heat starts to kind of pick up.
Yeah.
And it may be a little difficult to get it transplant in some tomatoes or peppers. You could certainly maybe get a pepper in there once the carrots or once the arugula is ready to harvest. But you may kind of be at the point where you say, oh, I guess we do need to put in some sweet potato or some sunflowers or something that kind of can hold you over for that really high summer heat.
You know, I think that my mom has a wonderful green thumb, and she loves planting and growing. And so it's a shock that I did not learn this skill set when I was living with my mom. But you know, it is kind of where we're at. So it's all good. Mom will come over and help me. And my dad is retired big time, so I think he would love the project. So maybe building it with me would be fun.
Yeah.
Using the bed of his truck for some dirt, things like that, I think would be fun. But you know, the dirt comes in bags, so I don't know if we need to like throw.
Well, you can either get it in bags, or like I said, you could reach out to your local landscape company, and they'll actually bring it in either a big tote or a big ton bag, which you could haul with a truck, or they will drop it off to you.
Nice.
Or they'll also kind of deliver a couple yards or so if they're close enough, or and that is something that they could actually, you could put a tarp out on your driveway. They would dump it. You would wheelbarrow it back to the raised bed.
Yeah, because I have to fill that raised bed within 3 inches from the top, right?
Yeah, you'd want to fill it actually to the top when you're first filling it, because it'll settle.
Right. We talked about that last episode. Yep. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of dirt, but hey, we're excited about it. And I think
so if you're getting it from a landscape company, so this just you'd probably be about a yard and a half to 2 yards of a topsoil compost mixture, which is what they'll probably recommend for a raised bed. And in general, if you're buying it from a company like that, you're going to be paying somewhere between $30 to $45 a yard. And so about $60 to fill up your raised bed.
Wow. Now you say a yard. A yard is 3 feet, but
a yard is a yard is a cubic yard.
Okay, I'm like,
a cubic yard is what you're gonna see when if your dad has a pickup truck, you could go to that landscape company, and they'll actually just they'll scoop it up a yard and put it in the back of his pickup, which would probably be your best option, because then you could kind of orderly scoop it out, shovel it out, wheelbarrow it to your backyard or wherever you're gonna put the raised bed.
That's going to be just a couple logistical things here that need to happen, but I'm committed to this. I'm excited about this.
You could always go to the big box store and buy some bagged mixes, but then you're going to be spending $200 to fill it up instead of $50.
No, not really interested in that. I am interested in a fun project though. So I think the kids are going to be super excited about it.
I think so too. And like I said, as summer rolls around, you get this stuff planted, you could, honestly, you could take the kids to the the plant store, to wherever there's plants, be like, you guys want to pick out a tomato plant, you want to pick out a pepper plant, and put them in there. And remember that if things don't grow to perfection, you're still going to probably get some produce from it, and your kids are going to enjoy that little bit of produce you get from it, even if it's a smaller amount. So hopefully you get things in the right time, and you keep things up and you get a lot. But even if you get some, the kids are going to really enjoy it, and that's the most fun part.
I fully agree. I can't wait. Well, man, I really thank you for helping me lay this out. I actually am looking out my window. I have a kid coming home. We're trying a brand new school for Roger.
Okay.
And we're gonna see how it goes.
Cool.
He did a shadow day today, so I'm pretty excited to go talk to him and see how his day was. But
awesome.
Or knock on the door anyways and start to come in. So
yep.
Anyway. But man, thank you for this.
Well, if anybody has any more questions, leave them in the comment section below. We will either answer them in the comments or answer them in a future show. As always, let us know where you're viewing from. We really like to know where our viewing audience is from. And if you did enjoy this video, hit the like button, subscribe button, and share it on your page, especially if you know someone that you think will find it helpful. Gardening season is approaching quickly. More quickly if you're down south like Cory is, but it'll be here before you know it. If you're central US or even up north, we'll get there sometime. And the more you can plan ahead, the better. because once it gets rolling, you really don't have time to do anything but either harvest or to be out there weeding or so get planned, get it planted, and have some fun with the garden is the goal.
So true. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Hey, have a good day.
All right, good stuff.
Cool.
I shall stop the recording and go talk